Chapter 10. I called over the years after I got done morphing. Tobias took off my results saying he'd hook up us later at Cassie's farm. I was on the kitchen phone with Cassie when Tom came in. "Oh, there you are," he said. I covered the mouthpiece. "Yeah, Tobias said you were looking for him before. I just wanted you to shut your dog up." He turned the chair around backwards and straddled it. I hesitated. For some reason, I wanted Cassie with Tom listening in. "I'll just see her a couple hours, okay?" I told Cassie. I hung up. I looked over at Tom, and Tom, he was bigger than me. Though not exactly small. His hair is darker, almost black, where mine's brown. I had always trusted him. He wasn't like a lot of guys who pound their younger brother. We were always kind of close, at least until the last year or so. Somehow we just weren't spending as much time together. Partly he was just involved in this club called The Sharing. They did all this stuff together, so he was busy a lot of time. The thing is, Tom should have been the first person to tell all this stuff to happen, but I was sitting here watching him munch toast and just had this feeling that, no, this has to be a secret, even from Tom. And instead I told him the other thing I was afraid to tell him. I didn't make the team, I said. "What team?" he asked, looking puzzled. "What team?" "The basketball team, your old team." "Oh, too bad." "Too bad," I repeated. I couldn't believe how little he seemed to care. "It's just sports," he said. I mean, I agree completely with the just sports things. I am not a sports fan of any sort, but still, it's pretty obvious this is out of character. "Just sports." I couldn't stop repeating what he said. "Tom, saying sports is no big deal." "No way, you live for sports." "Yeah, I guess I just don't have your skill." He shrugged. "Well, I quit the team anyway a couple of days ago." I practically fell out of my chair. You quit? You quit the team? You didn't even talk to me about it? What's the deal?" I didn't say anything as I knew you and Dad make a big thing out of it. Look, there are more important things than throwing balls through hoops. He had this mysterious look in his eyes. I figured it meant girls were the more important thing. That would be apt. Besides, we do much cooler stuff to Sharing. Are the cooler things girls? Maybe you should join up. I was stunned. Obviously, Tom and I are further apart than I realized. When we were done talking, I head outside to mow the lawn. I do it every Saturday, it's my major chore. That and taking out the trash, which I hate because we have to do all this recycling stuff. I take that over mowing the lawn. When I was finally done, I hopped on my bike and took off. I had arranged with everyone to hook up at Cassie's farm. It wasn't exactly a normal farm, although it had been in the old days. And they used to have horses and a cow, but now it was on the Wildlife Rehabilitation Clinic. Cassie's father runs it. They take in any kind of injured animal except pet-type ones. There are always a lot of birds, along with squirrels, a deer, and skunks and so on. Sometimes they have a bobcat or a fox or a wolf. Cassie's mom's a vet too, but she works at the gardens. It's a huge amusement park that's also a zoo. I guess they call it a wildlife park? Luckily, Cassie really loves animals too. It'd be hard having her parents and not loving animals. Me, I have a dog. Tobias a cat. Cassie's everything from porcupines to polar bears. By the time I got there, everyone else started waiting outside the barn. Oh, well, Marco, Tobias, and Rachel were anyway. Rachel, her face turned up to catch the tanning rays of the sun. Cassie wasn't there yet. I figured she was doing chores. She had tons of work to do around here. "Hey guys," said. Rachel opened her eyes and immediately thrust a newspaper at me. "Look." She pointed an article. I started to read and it wasn't very long. It said police came there been disturbed in construction the night before. It said several people were called claiming to seeing flying saucers follow my bright life. "Cool," I said, looking up, "so the cops know." That's a relief. Keep reading. The article went on to say police arrived to see found a group of teenagers playing with fireworks. The teenagers had run away. Fireworks were discovered on the scene. The police spokesman had laughed at reports of flying saucers. "It's just a bunch of kids playing where they shouldn't be. There are definitely no saucers. People shouldn't be so quick to believe nonsense." "But that's a total lie." "Ding ding ding! Correct answer! Johnny, tell our contestant what he won," Marco said. "Did you see that last part?" Rachel said. "I read the last sentence and that froze up good, I could tell you. They're offering a reward for information on the teenagers. They're looking for us. Why would they lie?" I wondered aloud, but the answer is obvious. Marco laughed a sardonic laugh. "Well, let's see, Captain Brilliant. Would it be because the cops are controllers?" "Probably not all the cops," Tobias pointed out. "If the police are infiltrated by controllers, who knows how many others are? Teachers, people in the government, the newspapers and TV? Math teachers for sure," Marco joked. We looked around nervously, expecting to find ourselves surrounded. "I tried to tell us it was all a dream," Rachel said. "Been there," I said. For a while no one said anything. We all had that same terrible feeling like we were all alone. Like suddenly we were dealing with stuff that was way over our heads. Marco spoke first. "Look, why do we have to deal with this? I say we just forget it. We never talk about it. We never morph. We just deal with our lives." Tobias and Rachel looked at me, they're waiting for me to argue. "Marco, I halfway agree with you," and suddenly just went ballistic. "We could get killed, don't you get? We saw what happened. I mean, this is radical stuff, Jake. This is for real. We could all get killed." Tobias and Marco had a sideways look, and I thought maybe Marco was some kind of coward. I knew better. Marco had his reasons. He shook his head, and a quiet voice said, "Look, I think these controllers are jerks, but if something happened to me, my dad, he wouldn't be able to handle it." 2 years ago, Marco's mom died. She drowned. They never even found the body. Marco's dad lost it big time. He totally fell apart. He quit his job as an industrial engineer because he couldn't handle being around other people. Now he's just working as a night janitor, barely making enough to support Marco. He spent the day sleeping or watching TV with the sound off. You can all think I'm a weasel if you want. I don't care, but if I get killed or something, my dad will just flat out die. He's only hanging in there because of me. I wonder if I could go pat him on the back or something, but if I had, Marco being Marco would just said something sarcastic. There's Cassie, Rachel said, shooting her eyes looking across the open field. A horse galloping across the green. The black man was flying in a warm breeze, but I didn't see a rider. The horse slowed, trying closer to something had a strange feeling. Cassie and I have been here a while, Rachel said by explanation. She's really good at this. Look at how fast she can do it. The horse nickered softly and it began to melt. The brown eyes became slightly smaller, the long muzzle became a human mouth. That is a terrifying image, by the way. The thing that was part horse and part Cassie smiled at a big horsey and said, "Hey kids." Marco suddenly sat down, very hard. He'd never seen him morphing. "It's cool," I said, trying to start life. "It's just Cassie." I figured we were a gentleman and look away. After all, in Tobias and Morph, we kind of morphed out of our clothes. But I noticed when she emerged, she was wearing a skin-tight blue outfit. One of the outfits the girls wore to do aerobics. I watched something beautiful happen. For just a moment, she stayed half horse and half human. It reminded me of the Andalite, and I realized it had to be deliberate. She was controlling the way she morphed. Geez, Rachel, you're right, she is good. Suddenly we heard the sound of tires on gravel. We all spun around. Down the gravel and dirt road came a single black and white car. "The cops!" Tobias cried. "Cassie, morph now," I snapped. "And the police car is coming fast. We don't want to explain a half horse, half person. Which way should I morph, horse to human?" I knew what was happening, but she was fighting a horse's urge to panic. "Human! Everyone stand in front of her." The police car squealed to a stop, seeing the gravel flying. A single policeman stepped out, and I waved to him. "Morin, you kids hiding something?" I went to look over my shoulder to see what shape Cassie's in, but that'd be a mistake. "Hiding something? Step aside, all of you." We did, revealing Cassie, fully human. He looked puzzled, but then shrugged, and I breathed a huge sigh of relief. "Can we help you, officer?" We were making some inquiries, still looking at Cassie. There must be something wrong with her. We're looking for kids who were shooting off fireworks across the mall last night. Suddenly Margaret started coughing. "Something the matter with him?" "Nope, nothing wrong." "We want those kids. They want them real bad. See, it's dangerous what he did. Someone could have got hurt, so we want to find him." Suddenly I knew. He was one of them. The policeman's controller, and I looked at his face. It seemed normal, but inside his head there was a creature of another planet, an evil slug. Just behind those human eyes, something vile lurked. "I don't know anything about it," I lied. He looked at me real close and I started to sweat. "Hey, you know what? You look familiar. You look like a young man I know named Tom." "Oh, he's my brother," said I, trying my voice to get all weird. I just couldn't forget the fact this wasn't really some normal human cop. It was a Yerk. It wasn't even human anymore, not really. It was a human controller. The brain was enslaved. "Tom's your brother, huh? Well, he's a good kid. I know him from the sharing. I'm one of the adult supervisors. Great group, by the way. You should come visit." "Yeah, Tom invited me already." "We have a lot of fun." "Yeah," I repeated. "Well, you can't even hear anything about those kids in a sight. I should warn you, this may come with some wild story to conceal their guilt, but you're too smart to believe a bunch of crazy lies, aren't you?" "He's a regular genius," Marco said. Finally, the policeman took off. "Okay, rule number 1, Rachel announced. We don't do anything to attract attention. We have to be secret about everything, especially morphing." Cassie looked embarrassed. "Yeah, that was dumb of me. It was just, man, that was so amazing running like that. Out in the open spaces, running and running. How'd you manage to morph when clothing? When Tobias and I did it, well, let's just say it's a good thing neither of you were around." "It took some practice," Cassie said. "It couldn't be tight clothing. I tried with a coat on, it just got shredded. I don't know what we'll do in the winter." "Well, that's not going to be a problem," Marco said, "because there ain't going to be any more morphing." "Maybe Marco's right," Rachel said. "This is too big for us. We're just kids. Let's find someone important to tell us to. Someone that we can trust." "We can't trust anyone to buy Safai. Anyone can be a controller. We tell the wrong person, we're all dead, and the whole world is doomed." "I don't want to stop morphing," Cassie said. "Do you realize we could do with this power? We could communicate with animals, maybe. Help save endangered species." "Humans may be the next endangered species, Cassie." "What do you say, Jay?" Cassie asked. "Me? I don't know. Marco's right. We all killed. Rachel's right. This is too major for us." I didn't like what I was about to say, but Tobias is right too. I mean, the whole world's in danger and we can't trust anyone. "So what do we do?" Rachel demanded. "It's not up to me to decide." "Well, let's take a vote then," Rachel said. "I vote we try and live long to get driver's license." "I vote we do what the Andalites said. Fight," Tobias said. "You've never been in a fight," Marco sneered. "You can't hold punks in school and suddenly you want to kick butt in that visor-free freakazoid." Tobias said nothing, but a blush spread up his neck. "I vote with Tobias," Rachel said, giving Marco a dirty look. "I wish we could dump this on someone else, but we can't." "Let's think it over a while," Cassie said. "This is a big decision. I mean, it's not like we're deciding whether to wear jeans or a skirt." I was relieved, thank goodness for Cassie. "Yeah, let's wait a while. In the meantime, no one say anything to anyone. We just go back to our normal life." There was a smirk on Marco's face. He thought he won, but I wasn't so sure. Tobias still blushing. He'd sent a secret grateful look to Rachel. Marco and I took off toward my house again. We talked about the baseball season. We talked about who was going to slaughter who in Dead Zone 5, a CD game we were going to play on my computer. By the time we reached my house, we ran out of stuff to talk about. We played for a while, but neither of us did too well. Games just weren't that interesting anymore. My mind was somewhere else. Tom came after a while. Hey guys, can I give that a try? It mustn't have did anything with me like I played a game. Sure. Marco moved over and gave Tom his control stick. We played for a bit and Marco did pretty well, but it's like he got bored or something. He did control back to Marco and just sat back and watch. You guys hear about all the stuff happening in the construction site last night? Marco was surprised. What stuff? It was in a newspaper, he said casually, and they said some kids are shooting off fireworks. A bunch of morons who live around here decided it was a flying saucer or something. He laughed. Flying saucers, right. We laughed too. Yeah, it's just those kids playing with fireworks. Uh-huh. I was trying very hard to concentrate on the game. You were at the mall last night, weren't you? Yeah. Did you come back for your site? I shook my head. No way. Didn't see any kids hanging around there, maybe? Nope. Not like I want to get them in trouble. I mean, I think it's kind of cool to just shoot it off and get people terrified of saucers. Uh-huh. Flying saucers, he said again. Only complete dips believe in that stuff. You don't believe that, right? Aliens and spaceships and little green men? I wanted to say no, none of them been little or green, but I just said, no way. Tom nodded and stood up. Cool. You know, Jake, I feel like I haven't been hanging around much lately. I guess not. That's too bad, he said, and he snapped his fingers. I had an idea. You know, you could join us sharing, Marco too. Why should we join? He just grinned. I gotta go. Catch you guys later. Don't forget, let me know if you hear anything about those kids at the site. He left. Marco looked at me. Jake? He's one of them. What? Tom. Tom's one of them. Your brother's a controller. Yeah, now I'm reading it again, it is kind of obvious, actually. Like, he's just pressing that really, really hard. Like, more than anyone reasonably should. And you put that with the cop that was talking earlier, it's a little obvious, but, you know. If you just had it on its own, it just seemed a little weird. But yeah, you know, Marco's clearly put two and two together. This is a book for like 12-year-olds. Fair point, fair point. Anyway, speaking of 12, chapter 12. I mean, if it's someone you care about, you might be reluctant to think it. That's also true. That's also very true. Jake is clearly trying not to think about it in this particular case. He's just trying to focus on the game so he doesn't say anything stupid. Because you don't want to think they're hurt. Exactly. No, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Now, chapter 12. I swung my fist and caught Marco in the side of the head. He jumped back and I swung again. Yeah, he didn't take that well. But Marco was quick. He dodged my second swing and I slipped and went down. He snatched a bedspread off my bed, threw it over me, hanging my arms, and just sat on me. Jake, quit acting like a stupid jerk. I tried grabbing, but he had me pretty good. Take that back, I yelled. Not likely. You think it's just coincidence suddenly all interested in what happened in the site? I knew it looked bad, but he was struggling to get free and kick his butt. I had a sudden flash for the smell I noticed Tom and I had morphed to a dog. And there was a laugh when I heard the sight. But no, this is Tom, my big brother. He never one of those slimy creeps in his head, never. I'll let you up if you calm down. Look, maybe I'm wrong, okay? I stopped struggling and let me up. You have to admit, Jake, it doesn't look good. Tom's not one of them, okay? That's final. Whatever, Marco said, just don't punch me because I might have to hit you back. I heard this flurry noise in my window, like someone beating on it. I went to the window followed by Marco. There was a bird there, some kind of huge bird like an eagle or hawk beating its wings against the window. Let me in, alright? I can't hover here forever. Marco's eyes went wide, he heard it too. I opened the window and the bird flew in, laying on my dresser. It was almost 2 feet long, mostly brown, and gnarled talons and a sharp hooked beak. It's some kind of eagle or something, Marco said. A red-tailed hawk, actually, Tobias said. Is that you, Tobias? I thought you were doing it as morphing. I never agreed to that. Well, morph back. You know what the end I said? Never stay more than 2 hours. He hesitated. He tilted his head and peered at me with an incredibly concentrated gaze. At last he hopped over my bed. Let me tell you something that's beyond weird watching feathers turn into skin. The brown feathers ran together, merged and turned pink, like watching they were melting. Like they turned to wax and are being heated up. The beak disappeared and the lips grew out. The talons split into 5 and became toes. Halfway through he was a lump, pink and brown, with feather-like patches still visible in the back and chest. His face is small, most human, except he still had those sharp, alert hawk eyes. 2 strange, shriveled arms protrude from the front of his chest like fingers like a baby's. Creepy. All in all, it was a pretty disgusting sight. But the human DNA had stirred itself and became more normal. After about 3 minutes he started to change. It's completely normal to bias staying naked on the end of my bed. Okay, 3 minutes. That's important because I'm pretty sure they get faster in later books. I hadn't figured out how to morph clothes yet, unlike past, he said sheepishly. Can I borrow some? I loaned him a pair of pants and a shirt, but my shoes are the wrong size. That was the coolest thing I've done in my life, Tobias said, his whole face glowing. I was riding the thermals. What's a thermal, I asked. That's sort of this warm air rushing up from the ground. It forms this cushion under your wings. You just, float up there like a mile up. You just surf on the thermals. You guys gotta do it. It's the best thing ever. Tobias, how on earth did you do a hawk morph? There's an injured hawk in Cassie's barn. There's a little cool osprey too, but I signed in a hawk. How'd you fly if the hawk you morph was injured? Marco shook his head pityingly. Jake, do you pay any attention in biology class? DNA has nothing to do with the injury. The DNA wasn't broken, it's just the wing. I ignore Marco. Your lucky Cassie's dad didn't catch you. He's so depressed, Tobias commented. Who? Cassie's dad? No, the hawk. I mean, I think he knows they're gonna hurt him, but he can't stand being cooped up while his wing heals. His eyes darken. It's terrible when birds that be locked in cages. They should be free. Yeah, free the birds, Marco comments sarcastically. I'll get the bumper stickers printed up. You don't have that attitude if you've ever been there with me. It's cool being a cat and all, but a hawk is just absolute freedom. I never seemed so happy. I mean, it's a pretty lousy home life thing about it. I suddenly had this feeling... I repeated the warning. No more than 2 hours, right? You have to keep track of time, okay? He smiled. Yeah, I don't have a watch or anything. Hawkeyes, I can actually see the hands of someone's watching half a mile below you. It's like being Superman. You can fly and you have supervision. Now he's Superman, Marco murmured. I looked around. I guess I thought I might be able to see something from the air. I looked for something that might be a yerk pool. The phrase sounded vaguely similar. I remember Tobias saying something about yerk pools. What's that? I asked Tobias. It's where they live in their natural state. Every 3 days they have to leave their host by and go to a yerk pool to soak up nutrients, especially Candrona rays. We exchanged a look, neither of us knew any of this. At the end, when the ally told us all to run, I stayed behind for a few seconds. I think I was too scared to run. I shook my head. I knew better. He just didn't want to leave the ally alone. Maybe he meant more to Tobias. I think maybe the Andalite meant more to Tobias than the rest of us. Anyway, he gave me visions, I guess you'd call them. Pictures, information, a lot of it all at once, all jumbled. I hadn't even started to sort it out, but I know about yerk pools and the Candrona. Marco held up a hand. Let me check the door. He went and peered out the hallway. All clear. Tobias gave Marco a questioning look. Tom, Marco said, he's one of them. Don't make me hurt you, I said warningly. He's not a controller. Either way, we should be careful, Marco said. He lowered his voice. The Candrona is a device that produces particles. It's like this little portable version of their home sun. They need these particles to live like a human needs vitamins or whatever. The particles are beamed from whatever the Candrona is and concentrated in the pool. Once every 3 days, they have to leave their host and go to the pool. They soak up particles and re-enter the body. What does that do to you flying around playing Superman? Well, it seems dumb now. I was thinking maybe I could see the yerk pool. He sang and made a rueful smile. I saw lots of swimming pools and some ponds. You get up there and you realize there are ponds and lakes and streams everywhere, but I didn't see anything special. And if you found a yerk pool, what then? Marco demanded. Then we'd blow it up, Tobias said. Wrong, we decided not to get into this. No, we decided not to decide yet. Well, I decided, Tobias said. Suddenly the wimp wants to be a hero, Marco sneered. That time Tobias didn't blush. Maybe I just found something worth fighting for, Marco. You don't even fight for yourself. That was before, Tobias said softly. Before the Andalite. Before he died trying to save us. I can't let that go. I can't let him die for nothing. So whatever you guys decide, I'm going to fight. We find a yerk pool, Tobias said. And when we do, we blow it up and kill all those evil slugs. I expected Marco to start yelling, but he was pretty smart. He could tell Tobias to reach me when it's talking about the Andalite, so he just smiled a little sneakily. Remember that cop the other day, the one who's so interested in finding who was in the Shush Strike, the one who's probably a controller? What about him? I said. Well, let's see. He invites you to join the sharing, and now it comes along Tom. Suddenly he's very interested in what's going on in the site. And guess what? He also invites you to join the sharing. Tobias nodded in agreement. Maybe this sharing is an organization of controllers. Marco smiled. He's my best friend, although sometimes he just makes me really mad. We're pretty sure the cop is one. I don't care what you say, I think Tom is too. So here's the deal. You want to get in this fight against the Yerks? Fine, let's see how much you want to do, and it turns out your brother you have to destroy. That stopped me cold. It's not exactly some video game, is it? This is reality. You don't know anything about reality, Jake. Nothing bad's ever happened to you. You have this perfect family. Like I used to have. His voice cracked a little. He never talked about his mom's death, and I realized he was right. I didn't know. Not the way what happened to Marco and Tobias. So maybe we just walk away from this, Marco said. Let someone else fight this. Marco said. Let someone else fight this fight. Sorry about the Andalite, but I had enough death in my family. No, I said, surprised myself. He gave us this morphing power for a reason. It wasn't just for the fun of being a dog or a horse or a bird. He hoped we'd fight. Then maybe Tom is the enemy. Maybe it's your own brother you end up destroying. Yeah, I said. My throat felt all tight. Maybe that's what will happen, maybe not, but the first step is to find out more. I think maybe the way to do that is to check this meeting and the sharing. Tonight. I'll call the others. Anyone wants to come? Cool. You want to stay out with Marco? That's cool too. He hesitated. He sent Tobias an angry look, but he just said, okay, if it's a meeting, right? We go and see. I'm in for that. Because he crashed and was desperate. Well, yeah, but, you know, it's their responsibility now. I called the others. Rachel agreed quickly. Cassie had to think for a little while. She agreed too. I told Tom we were interested in attending the meeting. Me, Marco, and Rachel and Cassie. We'd already decided Tobias would be there, only in a different way. Tonight was a great meeting to come to, Tom said enthusiastically. We have a bonfire on the beach, you know, hanging out, playing games stuff. We have play night volleyball. It's so funny because half the guys can't see the ball. It's great. It's the best organization. You'll love it. Listening to him, it sure didn't sound like they were connected to yours. You couldn't really picture a visitor free or a bunch of Texans playing volleyball. I was thinking maybe we were just all nuts. Maybe just some kind of new co-ed Boy Scouts or something. But it wasn't that far of the beach, so we decided not to drive with Tom. We walked. Tobias walked part away, and we stopped behind a dark dune as we got close to the shore. A few minutes later, we saw a hawk take flight. There weren't many thermals at night, so we had to work to get out to, but then I guess he found a decent enough updraft because he soared up and away until he disappeared. I had to try that, I said. It looks wonderful. Yeah, I agreed. I had the bonfire burn bright in dark beach. People were all around, playing, talking, eating, kids from school, adults, people I didn't know, others I did. Were they all controllers, I wondered? How could I ever know? And was my brother one of them? After about an hour of hanging on the beach, I was sure I was nuts. There's no way these guys are aliens. We played some volleyball, and me and Tom together on one team. We ate the barbecue ribs. I mean, it was just a normal good time. The sand was still warm, the night air was chilly, but near the fire it was nice. Now you see why I enjoy this, Tom asked me. It's cool, I said. Look around people having fun. I didn't realize it was so much fun. Well, that's not all it is. I mean, it's more than just fun. The sharing can do all kinds of things for you. Once you're a full member. That's what they get you. The subscriptions. How do you get to be a full member? He smiled mysteriously. Oh, that'll come later. First you have to be an associate member, then leaders decide whether they actually be a full member. And once you're a full member, the whole world changes. At that moment, something weird happens. I looked at Tom and he was smiling, and then his face kind of twitched. His head started to pull to one side. He was trying to shake his head, only he couldn't quite do it. For just a split second, there was a look in his eyes, scared or something. He was looking right at me like a different person. Some scared person was looking out of his eyes. And then he was back to normal. Or what looked like normal. I have to go for a while now. The full members have a separate meeting. You guys stay and have fun. Have some more of that barbecue. It's great, isn't it? With that, he got into the night. I feel like I'd swallowed barbed wire. Marco and Cassie came over. They just finished playing frisbee and surf with some other kids. Marco was laughing. Okay, I admit I was wrong. Just some more people having a good time, and Tom and the controller. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Marco was wrong. I knew what I'd seen in his eyes. He was trying to warn me. So I managed to gain control for just a second where York and his head had crushed him. Tom, the real Tom, had tried to warn me.